Did Shopify just kill dropshipping product research as we know it? A few days ago, without warning anyone and all of a sudden, Shopify released an update that changed the dropshipping ecosystem forever. This update made the technologies used by some of the most popular product research tools completely useless. And if you're relying on those tools that are still being promoted by a lot of the most popular influencers, then you want to know what's going on so you don't go bankrupt as those tools are likely to. So what's happening? If you're not new to probably have heard about sale trackers. Tools or extensions that allow you to track exactly how much a Shopify store is making and the revenue from it, even if it's not your store. But since mid-September, those tools are not working anymore and they will never work again. And trust me, I know this because at Minea, we developed one of the most powerful sale trackers on the market, which is now worth zero. So in this video, I'm going to tell you everything about the technology that allowed anyone to spy on any Shopify store numbers. What are sale trackers? And do they even work? Because it sounds almost too good to be true. How they work? And I will take you behind the scenes of Minea to show you how technically this technology worked, and you will be amazed of how simple it was. What changed, and is it going to work again? I can already give you a short answer, which is no and kinda yes, because even if sale trackers don't work anymore, there are methods that we discovered thanks to this sale tracking technology that are even more reliable than the sale tracking technology and that works on any e-commerce store. Without even talking about paid tools or secret techniques, we will take a step back to understand how you can know if a Shopify or any other e-commerce store is making profits or not. With some logic, the right data in front of your eyes, and just a bit of common sense, you will be shocked on how it is to actually replace those sale trackers. Finally, we will see how you can implement this method with or without tools to supercharge your product research and still be ahead of the dropshipping game. Okay, so let's get right into it. What are sale trackers? And it's probably just a reminder because you've probably heard of it. Sale trackers are tools or extensions that allow you to track the revenue of any Shopify store or product. It sounds almost too good to be true because, I mean, how can you know how much a store or a product is exactly making if you don't have access to the Shopify backend? In dropshipping, we all sell the same things. So your goal when you're looking for a winning product is to find a product that is already sold by someone else and has some proven track record. And that's why those Shopify sale trackers were such a revolution in the ecosystem to validate and have a maximum level of certainty about a product. And for the first time ever, and I don't think any other dropshipping tool ever did that, I'm going to explain you exactly how the technology works behind the scenes. And as I told you, you will be shocked of how simple it is. So how is it possible to track a Shopify store's number? You see, when you have a Shopify store, you have two parts. You have what we call the front end, which is the part seen by your clients with your product, the price, and they can add to cart and purchase. And on your side, you have the back end where you just set the inventory, you can see the orders, you can see the sales, etc. And in between, there is a database. So when you input a product, it goes into Shopify database, which push it after to the front end of Shopify so your clients can see it. When someone visits a Shopify store, the front end, the page that loads contains more data than meets the eyes. Anyone can just open the developer tool and see the data that is pulled from the Shopify servers to load this page. And within these data fields, one of them holds the key to the sale tracking technologies. It is the @ field. The updated @ field does what it says. It's a date that is updated when the Shopify product is changed, but not exactly, because it was changed for two reasons. First, if you edited your product title, price, or anything in your product. And the second thing was when there was a sale. And I think you see me coming on how those worked. If you wanted to know if a Shopify store was making a sale or not, you just had to monitor this field and check when it was updated. If it was updated, you just had to compare the previous version of the page to the actual one. If nothing changed, it was very likely that a sale happened. And that's how we were able to track the sales of any Shopify stores. Sounds easy, right? However, while the concept is simple, the execution was a bit more challenging. because monitoring all Shopify stores on the planet and all the products required to be constantly looking at this field, which resulted in some huge costs in servers, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars every single day to monitor those sales. And I know it because at Minea we spent countless hours developing the most powerful technology, and I think we were the only tool that allowed anyone to track any Shopify store on the planet without limitation. And what about the accuracy of this technology? Were we really able to find the exact sales made by any Shopify store? Well, no, because unlike 10% of the stores, some apps we didn't know about were constantly also updating this updated ad field, making it impossible to track the sales. So what we concluded after fine-tuning the model and analyzing hundreds of thousands of data points is that the sale tracking technology for all tools was pretty much 90% accurate on 90% of stores, which is more than enough. So you have your answer. Yes, this sale tracking technology worked, but it's not working anymore and it will never work again. And let me explain you why. Shopify just released a patch that is spoofing the updated ad field. With just a few lines of code, the updated ad field is now randomly updated. So every minute, every second, it is updated, but for no reason, which makes it purely impossible to track the sales of any Shopify store. And if any tool tells you they're still able to track the sale, it's a complete lie because it's not possible anymore, and you can try for yourself on your own Shopify store to look at this updated ad field. And even if we this hour of R&D development, fine-tuning to create this sale tracker, we knew it was not going to last because it is obvious that this causes a major privacy concern. I mean, you as a Shopify merchant, as a dropshipper, do you want anyone or your competitor to be able to access your real sales data? No. So I think it's normal that this was going to be patched, and I would like to thank Shopify because even if we lost so many hours of R&D, at the end of the day, it's just normal that this exploit is patched. Shows us dropshippers that they are on top of the game and that they don't let anything stay broken for a long time. Now, what if I told you there is a way to track any e-commerce store sales nearly or even more accurate as the sale tracking technology was? Thanks to the sale tracker, we were able to answer the most important question since the beginning of dropshipping, which is it possible to evaluate the sale of a product without having access to the backend of the Shopify store or the sale tracking technology? And the answer is yes. We compared thousands of data points to the sale tracker and we were able to find some metrics that are really correlated to the sales of a store. Let's do this exercise together and we're going to see how you can replace the sale tracking technology. So here we're looking at the sales we track from one store over the past 8 months. On this graph, we added other metrics and it may not make sense right now, but finally, and as it is often the case, and while analyzing all those metrics, we found a few interesting metrics that are correlated to the sale. Basically, even without the sales of a product, if I remove the line of the sales, you can still have the same information as with the exact sales of the store. Is it making a ton of money? Is it growing? And most importantly, is that product a winner? It works, and it works for every single store we have tested. Even better than the sale tracker because it is a metric that is publicly accessible. It's completely free, it's something that you cannot fake, and it's very unlikely to be patched. So if you haven't found out yet, it's super logic. Let's do again some simple reverse engineering to understand it. When you test a product, you create an ad on which you put a small budget, and that is called the testing phase. If your ad does not do well, you don't make sell and you stop spending money on this ad. But if it does, you increase the budget, the ad is shown to more and more people, and as long as you're making sale, you keep some high budget on this ad, which brings you more money. More money on an ad means it's shown to more people, and the more people see it, the more engagement there is on this ad. If you track the progress of the ad interactions, it is very correlated to the sales of a product. This technique has been around for years and have never been more valid thanks to the existence, even if it was short, of the sale tracker. Because at Minea, even before the sale tracking technology, we were claiming that the engagement was correlated to the sale because it was commented. And the sale tracker allowed us to prove this hypothesis and prove once again one of the most important rules of product research. If you want to know if a product is a winner, just look at its ads and you will know if it's a winner or not. If you want to find winning product, just scroll through your feed, and when you see a dropshipping ad, the ad was created recently and has a lot of engagement, I can guarantee you're onto something. So what is the most effective method? Ad spy tools gather whole databases of ads across social networks and their interaction to allow you to find ads that are related to dropshipping products and track the engagement of those ads. You might not choose Minea as your ad spy tool, but regardless which tool you choose, keep this in mind. A spy tool has to include the engagement of an ad, which makes it valuable. Many of so-called spy tools just plug themselves into the ad libraries of Facebook, TikTok. And if it was so simple, then just use the Facebook ad library or TikTok ad library. All the ads are there. So why am I not talking about those ad library? It's because they miss the most important thing to know if a product is a winner or not, which is the engagement of an ad. So there is one spy tool I can talk about, which is Minea. Guess why? It's because I'm one of the co-founders of Minea. We're a team of dropshippers and engineers, and from the beginning we created our own tool to supercharge our dropshipping business. The goal of this video is not to sell you Minea, but just to illustrate how you can replace the sale tracking technology. And it happens that Minea is the tool I created and I have the hand on, so I'm just going to use it as an example. Just in a few clicks, you have access to the biggest product database with data, and as we saw earlier, as reliable as those sale trackers. So finally, the end of sale tracking technology is not a bad thing. It is healthier for the Shopify community. It allowed us to validate the most important hypothesis of all, which is that ads engagement is directly correlated to sales. And this engagement is not going to go away. And just knowing this and applying this principle will allow you to find the first product that will probably change your life. Dropshipping is a beautiful business model that can really change your life. Recently, we integrated a new AI to Minea. And if you're curious to see what AI can do for product research, then check our full AI release note and the link will be in the description. At Minea, we built a sale tracker, but it was just one of the pillars of our business, and I'm glad we did it because it allowed us to gather a lot of very useful information that will allow you to build an even greater product for the rest. Another way we are always improving Minea is by listening to our community and your feedbacks. So if you have any question about dropshipping and if you have any idea on how to make Minea better as a product research tool, just let us know. Keep in mind that we are a team of more than 20 people working every day and fully dedicated to building the tool that will make you find the product that will change your life.